Okay. Morning, call the meeting to order for our county commissioners special agenda meeting here. We'll begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. Please rise for a pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll move to public comment, which I'm assuming we'll have none. Move to the minutes, the approval of our minutes of May 16th, commissioner meeting and our workshops of May 15th and 22nd.
I'll make a motion to approve those sets of minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those meeting minutes. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? They look good to me. Anything not? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved. Move on to our awarding of bids. And Jamie, do you want to give a little background with the process here?
Yep. So primary purpose for today's meeting is to review and award bid for County Bridge CO-1, which is a small bridge on Michter's Road in Heidelberg Township. It's over the Hammer Creek. This bridge has been slated for replacement for a while now. The engineering has been in the works for close to a year. You'll probably recall a few modifications we had to make just to satisfy some PennDOT requirements where we narrowed the actual cartway of the bridge last summer, I believe it was, so that vehicles couldn't get to each side of the bridge because the failings or the weakness of the bridge is on the edges. And now we're ready to address that by replacing the entire bridge. This is serves about probably 20 to 30 residents on the south side of Hammer Creek at the very edge of Lebanon County and abuts up against Elizabeth Township in Lancaster County. We've worked with Elizabeth Township because they have a bridge replacement that's going on just further down that road. So they have held off on that while we can get this one done. So with all of that said, we advertised for bids for the replacement of this bridge. The work would proceed sometime, hopefully in the end of June, and would be completed by the end of the year. There's a completion date of December 6th, 2024. We have worked with the neighbors. You've already approved a few things in terms of temporary construction easements, and for one neighbor, a permanent easement of about 1,000 square feet that we need for some guide rail here. And with that, there were 5 bids received through PennBid this morning, and Wilson Consulting Group, our bridge engineer, has provided a letter to you ranking those bids in order of price. And the base results are J. Folkrod and Sons Incorporated, $527,267.62. Krylon Corporation, $573,053.98. JBI Group Incorporated, $635,695.75. Lobar Site Development Corporation, $678,504. And Kinsley Construction, $696,000 even. The base bid for the 5 base bid estimate by Wilson was $597,410. So you can see the base bid that from Folkrod and Sons came in about $70,000 lower than that. And they're recommending that you award that we will give a notice to proceed by June 25th. That's everything. Yes.
2 questions. One, where is Jake Falk Road and Krylon located? Where are they located?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know that I recognize Folkrod as a company that we've done.
Okay, because I didn't recognize either of them, and that's why I was wondering whether.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they're all central Pennsylvania, Lobar, Kinsley, JBI.
The others are familiar.
JBI is doing work in the city right now. so as we speak, but I can get the answer.
Right, but we
Sure.
have done work with Falk Road
Folk
before.
Route is somebody yeah, bridge work before.
Well, then I'll make a motion to go with the Falk Road bid.
Second that motion. One comment. Jamie touched on, it, but I think brushed over it, didn't give due credit to himself, first and foremost, because he mentioned this other bridge project in Lancaster County. And there was a potential, because of the timing, this doesn't happen overnight. They could have put these people kind of on an island, with both bridges gone, and we went out to Heidelberg Township, met with the leaders out there, some people from Lancaster County came, PennDOT, and within days, we were able to, maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah, actually, it was,
Really a nice.
there was a lot of help from PennDOT. PennDOT had originally given us notice that we had to close the bridge because of the beams, the outer beams. And again, closing the bridge would have isolated, prior to construction, prematurely isolated people on the south side. And then we learned that Elizabeth Township had a project scheduled out by the end of Pumping Station Road at 322. So PennDOT allowed us to instead alternatively put some
To make the bridge safer.
to make it safer by narrowing it. We narrowed it with timbers. We used yellow painted timbers on the edge so the vehicles couldn't use the edge, made it a narrower passage, but it's a very slow single lane bridge to begin with. That gave PennDOT the ability to let us keep it open and not isolate people. Ultimately, Elizabeth Township, I spoke with them about a month ago. Their project has been delayed now as well. And so they are, I explained to them that we're intending to do this in 2024, but by the end of 2024 be completed. And they said that that'll be fine. They don't expect to get to theirs now until later anyway. So there's just kind of been this bit of a back and forth, but
It was very, very good for me to see, heartwarming to see the people that were involved, all the different municipalities and PennDOT getting together and talking and making some common sense decisions that really benefited those people.
Cooperation
Could
is
have been a
always
real
good.
hardship.
Yeah.
yeah, there's just no way we could have had people living in between two closed bridges. It's an impossibility. And,
Unless they're mountain climbers.
and,
But they
you
found
know,
a way.
yeah, and there still are some challenges here. For example, there's mail delivery will only come to the north side of the bridge.
Hmm.
And talk to the postmaster. That would have been last year. I'll have to revisit this, but they're willing to set up a sort of a bank of mailboxes that all the mail will go to there. Then the residents on the south side will just have to, when they detour, they'll have to get their mail on the north side for this period of time.
Did you touch on the reason for this meeting this morning, why it was?
Oh, yeah, we had did this once before a couple of weeks ago, but realized that we had not fully met the requirements of the advertising in the local paper. So we talked to the solicitor. We on the safe side, we actually put it into the newspaper and reopened it, extended it by 2 weeks. So that's what
We
brings us
wanted to stay
today.
on schedule.
Yes, and yeah, we're still on schedule. Yeah, this June
That's why we
date.
slipped it in here, so we could stay. on
Yes,
schedule.
that's why the special meeting
That's right.
to not lose a week
Yeah.
to next week. And by the way, the funding for this is coming out of Act 13 Marcellus funding, which we have been accumulating over the last several years. And that is a lot simpler and quicker than to go through either some sort of a liquid fuels project or otherwise. And that money is intended specifically for bridges and road projects. So, and we'll continue to do that. We have a number of others that need some work. And so stay tuned. We'll be doing more. But at this point, that's the recommendation.
Questions?
Did PennDOT tell you when you said about narrowing? They had to close a bridge due to the beams. Was that because it was they did an inspection and realized it was unsafe to?
Yeah, it wasn't a
So,
surprise. I mean, we knew it was.
you know, when this bridge was originally built?
I don't know if we have a number.
It's a single lane.
Cornerstone.
Yeah.
You said it's a single lane, so it must be. pretty-
Oh, yeah, and it's angle, it's an offset, so it's not a straight across. You kind of have to get up and turn. And I mean, you can go out and get some photos, or I might have some photos of it. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And we're maintaining the same alignment. We're even reusing the abutments, which are a red stone abutment, sort of the sandstone that's in that area. That's how it was originally built. And we've maintained those abutments over the years, and we did do some masonry work to them. So they're, according to the engineer, they're in good enough shape to put a new bridge on them.
Are there,
The superstructure's being replaced.
are there dates on that map that you have on the wall?
I don't think there are for this. I can look at the inspection report for sure, but I'm not aware of having a date for this one. Some of them have plaques, some of them have
Yeah,
records. We know, like, for
Right.
example, Yorty Bridge is 100 years old. We know that the Lebanon's Bridge, that was built, I think, in 1899 or something. Some of them have date plaques on it. This is pretty much a very remote, stone laid bridge.
I don't want to make an assumption. Is it gonna stay one lane or are you expanding
No.
it to two?
No, you can't build a one-lane bridge. You must, any new bridge must be
That's what I
brought
think.
to standards.
Okay,
So it's going to be, the superstructure that's put on top is gonna have a wide enough cartway that two vehicles would pass. Now, if you probably as a motorist, as you're approaching, if it's two vehicles, you're probably gonna wait anyway. It's just that kind of a strange alignment, but it will be able to handle. It won't be a posted load limit, and it will have two lanes.
I thought as much, but when you said
Yeah.
about keeping the original, I thought,
No, we keep the original abutments, but not the original
Okay.
width. Yeah, you have to build to standards. And by the way, Folk Rod is from McAllisterville, PA.
Callisterville, thank
It's
you.
up near Lewistown.
Yeah,
Town.
yeah.
Nothing else, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The same sign, so moved. All righty, next item, Jamie.
Yep, I have a quick one here. This is just to finalize some use of some grant funds, as I've talked about before, the Pennsylvania County Risk Pool, which is our carrier and insurer for property and liability coverage. Each year provides a grant for improvements or funding things that will prevent loss or reduce the chance of loss go to property or to liability at the county. And we ran through a number of things, some training for law enforcement over the course of the year. And this grant is wrapping up this month, and we still had a little bit of money left. So we are proposing to fund two more things out of it, which will then pretty much use up all the grant, I think, all exception of about $100. Might leave that on the table, but we'll see if we can. Depends on some of these costs coming in. But anyway, the first one is a 3-year basic armor plan for security and safety of the courthouse and occupants. This is the security duress system that is used within the courthouse, where we have different offices are able to summon the sheriff's department. It also provides, and this is a property issue, it also provides flood warning. So we've had, unfortunately, a couple of times we've had broken pipes or overflows and things like that here in the building. We can put these devices on the floor, for example, at the very top floor where a lot of our mechanicals are located. If there's water on the floor, these will sense the water, send out a message, and you can respond and take care of it before it becomes some sort of an emergency. So this would be again, a 3-year basic armor plan is $3,750 to provide that system and the notifications that go along with it. And then the second request would be for $2,800 to provide a new snow blower to the correctional facility inmate detail crew, and they are responsible for a number of county properties when it comes to snow removal and some outdoor maintenance. As you know, the group of trustees, as they're called, or those on the detail crew, is smaller with the size of the jail population. And so having another machine in place, and eventually the other ones are getting older and older. Having another machine in place would be allow them to do it a little more efficiently, maybe not so much shoveling, and using this machine to do so. It's also, as Sergeant Gibson pointed out to me, they would like to get the model that's a tracked model, because instead of a wheeled model, you don't have to lean on it to steer. And so they make avoid back injuries. And unlike workers' compensation, if an injury occurs to an inmate, that's our cost responsibility. So for all those reasons, I'd like to suggest the $2,800 for a new 24-inch Honda.
Which is only one motion. Okay, one motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the motion.
I will so move for those requests.
A second, I do have a question.
Now's the time.
Can you explain to me, I don't understand what it's saying. The system is currently not alerting us in real time when the door and flood alerts are triggered.
Mhm.
What door?
All doors, any door that would, like if there's a door ajar, an exterior door
So-
ajar,
For our county building, when any of our doors are ajar.
I believe that's what they're referring to, yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense when I read it. And I'm like, I'm not getting enough
Sometimes they never think
information.
it Sticks.
Pardon?
And sometimes this front one sticks and they can sense and Brad comes up. and
So
check.
when any courthouse door, okay,
So, yeah, and just to add to the need here, once the dispatchers relocate from downstairs, the building will only have central booking remaining in it. So it will be less inhabited, I'll say, to use that term, I guess, during closed hours than it's been in the past. Yeah, if there's some sort of an issue, sometimes it was discovered by the dispatchers.
Yeah.
That we would find out. So this is the way of technology replacing that.
well, I would respectfully suggest that we amend the motion to include just a couple words. Real time when any courthouse or county building door and flood alert. It just didn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm the only one, but
I don't know if we were getting into that much detail with the motion.
Maybe it's a county door. That's not sure.
it says the door. And so the question is, what door? It just didn't make
This is
sense.
alerts, the door and flood alerts. So it's multiple alerts. It's potentially multiple alerts.
I don't think it's necessary. I think we're with the expenditure and detail of how it works, because
So you're withdrawing your second?
I'll just vote against it.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
No. Thank you for your time, having the extra meeting.
Thank you for attending.
Dave, just out of curiosity, how much money does the county normally get for the risk pool in a year's time?
It's a $30,000 grant.
And so you're down to about 29.9 with these expenditures?
Yeah, it might even be a little less than that, Jim. I think we had $2,900 left. The snowball air came in at $2,800.
So you're right, rounded it in, does that $100 carry over into your pool the next year, or does it go back to that?
No.
So it's just always 30.
No, we strive to get as much as we can.
That's our motion to adjourn.
so most.
We stand adjourned.